Welcome to Chording with Christmas from Piano Video Lessons. Today's lesson is We Three Kings. We're going to play it in 3 different levels: easy, medium, and intermediate. Nothing too hard, but really lots of fun. We're using lead sheets for this course, and I've got a standard lead sheet version, which you can see is printed with standard notation, just the way you would expect it to be. And then I've also got this big note version, and the big note version has the notes written inside each, has the note letters written inside each note. So if you have a hard time with note reading, this would be the version for you to use. I'm going to use it in this lesson because it's a little easier on the camera for you to see it. There's also a reference sheet or 2 or 3 at the back of your package, and you can get the package by clicking the info card link or checking the video description. So here we go, We Three Kings, and basically lead sheets work like this. The melody is written out for the right hand, and then above the melody are written these symbols for chords. So that's your left hand's signal of what to play. And we get to make up our own sort of interpretation of these chord symbols. So in the most basic version of this, you're going to play single letters for these chord notes. So it says E minor, but we can just play the note E. Then it says B, and then it says E minor. And another E minor, B, E minor, and then a D, so we'll just play the note D, and then a G. Then we have A minor, we're just going to play A, and then B, and then E minor is just E. Here's D7, we'll play just a D. So whatever the letter is, that's what you'll play with your left hand. So let's go ahead and play We Three Kings, the whole thing, both pages. And I'm assuming that you can teach yourself how to play this by reading the music. And of course, as I've said, the letters are written in. The only thing you're going to have to remember is that we're going to remember F sharps. It's written here in the key signature at the beginning. So every F is going to be played as F sharp. And have a look at the piece. We're starting with right hand on B, and we're going to play just E in the left. So here we go. Now a B while I play that F sharp back to E. So I'm telling you what my left hand is doing. It's going to play E. I'm on this line here. Now it's going to play a B back to E. Okay, and on the next line, I'm going to play E in the left, D in the left, G in the left. Now A in the left and B. Don't forget F sharp in your right. And then your right hand's going to play F sharp A, and your left is going to play D. Now the next page, it's got a G, then a C. So this is the easiest way to interpret a lead sheet. Play the melody on the right hand and just play single notes for each chord symbol. Sorry, I'm on the next line here. Now both C's. Now here we're going to have an A in the right and a D in the left. Last line, G, and then C, ending on G. All right, so that's level 1. Level 2 now involves playing these actual chords. And if you look at your chord reference sheet for lessons 6 and 7, it shows the chords that we need. So we have the E minor chord, the A minor chord, the B major chord, the G chord, the C major chord, and the D chord. Now don't forget there's an F sharp because that's in the key signature, just as there was an F sharp here on the B major chord. Is there B major in this? Yeah, so the piece starts in E minor. It ends in G major, interestingly. That happens sometimes. So we're going to play the piece again, and this time we're going to start by playing the full triad. So we have E minor, and then B major, which has 2 black keys, then E minor. Then we have E, then D, then G. Now A minor, B major, E minor. Now here's a D7. All right, so we can go back and have a look. D7, we learned it in our lesson 5, and this is where we sort of switch now to G major. And here we go on the next page. We're going to have G chord in the left. Now a C chord, C, E, G. Good. Back to C chord. Back to G chord. Now E minor in the left, and D in the left. Now C in the left, back to D, G, and C and G. All right, so that is level 2A, playing the chords in root position and all three notes. Now for level 2B, we're going to have a look at this appendix that shows us for lesson number 7, the chord voicings. So what this means is we're going to be playing these notes in closer position. So instead of going from E, jumping all the way down here to find the B major, we're going to keep the note that's the same. So the E, G, B has a B on the top, so we're going to keep that B and put the D sharp and the F sharp below it. So let's just practice going through the notes in this voicing pattern. So we're going to have this to B, go back to E. Now for D, we're just going to move down in root position again, but now our G has a D in it, so we can keep it on the bottom. Now we'll move all that up in the same hand shape for A minor, and there's a B major right here, and we'll keep the B for that E minor, and then for D7 we can just hardly move here, and then we can go all the way down here for G to C to G, and then we can play a root position, root position, root position, root position. These chords at the end here didn't have any common notes, so we kept them in root position. So let's go ahead and try using those voicings while we play We Three Kings. So this is level 2B. Here we go. So from this root position, I can play my B major chord here and then back. Same thing on the next line. Now, from E minor to D, we found that in the second little grouping here of chords. So let's try this section here. And we'll just look at this part where it goes E to D to G. So we're going to move everything down, and then we're going to keep our D on the bottom for the G. So here it goes, starting on line 3. And move everything down, and then now move all your fingers just up one, take your B in here, and then for the D7, and now we're on to the second half of this chord sheet, and I'll just slide all this over. Here we go, starting on the G, but we're going to take the G with the G on the top of the chord. Just brings it down a little lower to ground the sound, give it a bit more bass. Same thing. G, C in root position, back to that G with G on top. Now we're going to do all of these just kind of going down in root position, just as we did in level 2A, because these chords don't have any common notes. And then to go from G to C to G, we had that in our previous arrangement here, so we'll take it back. Alright, so that is a good way to play this piece with chord voicings. Now, this isn't the only way you can do that, but it is a really good way to try keeping your hand from jumping around so much. It's easier on the hand, you never miss notes, but it's a little harder on the brain because you're thinking about moving your chords around a little bit. So now for level 3, we're going to be looking at our chord arrangement patterns. So there are so many ways that we could play notes in 3/4 time, and that could include playing the solid chord in different rhythms, or we could play each chord bottom, middle, top, each chord note, or we could play bottom, top, top, or we could play bottom, both, two, like kind of a little polka or something. And then we could also play G, C, G, which is just that bottom, middle, top. We could even go, probably not in 3/4 time, but you never know. And there's also just the octave. So this bottom line here has different options for how you could break this up in 3/4 time, which is the key or the time for this piece. Let's give that a try. Take the E minor down here. Then I have a B chord, back to E minor. I'm using this 1-5-8 pattern, which is the root, the fifth, and then the root again on the top. On line 2, same thing. Now, you don't have to keep on playing that same pattern. You can switch it. So on this next line, let's use this basic root position triad broken form. but then we can just play this D7 chord, just play all the notes at once, which is the same idea as this, but it's a 4-note chord because it's a D7. So now on the next page, I'm going to do that first pattern again. So again, I'm using this 1-5-8 pattern, but I'm speeding up the first 2 notes. So I'm going T, T, ta, T, T, hold, T, T, hold. Now I have E minor, so I took something from up here and adapted it to 3/4 times. So I did root, 5th, root, and then I crossed over to grab the 3rd. So in the case of a G major chord, I didn't play the B on the way up. I'm going to bring it over here. So I did that starting, I think I might have been here. No, it was starting here on the E. So I did root, 5th, root, over the 3rd, and then root, 5th, root, 3rd, root, 5th, root, 3rd. All right, so that's the 3 levels of We Three Kings, and in our last lesson we'll be doing We Wish You a Merry Christmas. So come on back for that one.